A New York administrative judge has recommended NYPD officer Daniel Pantaleo be fired. And of course, that is the officer at the center of the death of Eric Garner. You're seeing that video right there. The judge found Officer Daniel Pantaleo, who has been on modified administrative duty in the year since Garner's death on a Staten Island street corner, guilty of using a chokehold on the 43-year-old father, which of course is banned under NYPD policy. This is just a recommendation because whether Pantaleo will keep his job is actually up to the police commissioner, the city's police commissioner. His name is James O'Neill. But the NYPD did announce the officer has been suspended effective today in keeping with longstanding practice when there is a recommendation for firing. And we do have a video, and I think it's important to continue to show this just of what happened to Eric Garner that day. And it's been 5 years. Take a look.
I'm minding my business. Please just leave me alone. I told you the last time. Please just leave me alone. Please don't touch me. Don't touch me. Hold on. Listen, don't touch me, please.
Came over.
Not touch me. Damn.
All right, stop. Use your hands, buddy. Put your hand behind your back.
I can't breathe. 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 I can't breathe.
My brother right there. He was breaking up a fight.
All right.
Yeah, and it never gets better. It's just as a horrific the 20th time watching it as it was the first time. And the cops are protesting de Blasio all over. Before the debates, the cops went all the way down to Miami to do a protest to de Blasio. De Blasio hasn't even fired the guy. I think he's acting way too slow on it. Otherwise, very good progressive. But on this issue, I'm sure that he has his hands full with the police constantly crying and crying and crying. Why can't we murder people in the streets? Why can't we just kill them? Oh, boo-hoo us. You won't let us murder citizens by choking them to death. So I wish he was a little bit stronger there. No, I wish he was a lot stronger there. And so look, I know it has to go through some process. I know that there's a lot of good reasons and bad reasons for, hey, we had to let the federal Justice Department weigh in on it. It's Trump's Justice Department. We knew what they were gonna do, right? Now they were waiting for the judge is waiting. Now we gotta wait for the police commissioner. Well, gee, I wonder where the cops are gonna come out on this. Look, at the end of the day, they might fire the guy because of too much political pressure. But to me, that isn't really the issue. Like, the cops say, hey, it's not fair. They tell us all the time that this is a seatbelt maneuver and we could do it. And so you guys are taking it out on Pantaleo when we do this stuff all the time. In a sense, that's right? And then the community says, well, don't choke us to death. And that's definitely right. So what's the correct answer? The correct answer is, don't let the cops choke people to death on the streets. Fix the actual policy, Don't tell me, look, you can't have it both ways. Either you really do have a policy against chokeholds, and this was a chokehold, and it's the autopsy said it was a homicide. It was the chokehold that led to the death, okay? And you're like, no, listen, guys, man, we do not allow this under any goddamn circumstances. And this guy's a bad apple, and the cops should be the ones most aggressively pursuing this guy for making the rest of them look bad. Out of control guy who choked someone to death on a street, and now all the cops look bad. And they're, by the way, you're cops. You're supposed to be law enforcement, and you should go after Pantaleo. If it's not the case, then you say, hey, you know what? Then we'll get to Pantaleo, but I'm gonna fire his boss first. Fire his boss first, right? Because his boss apparently allows this. And now they're all defending it like, oh yeah, of course. Why can't I just choke our own citizens to death? Well, okay, then you should all be fired. You should all be fired then. So which one is it? Should we fire that one cop who killed Garner? Or should we fire all of the bosses in the New York Police Department who think that this is a perfectly fine thing to do to choke their own citizens to death?
And I want to show you something that the city's police union said, calling the judge's recommendation pure political insanity. And saying this, if it is allowed to stand, the ruling, it will paralyze the NYPD for years to come. And they actually kind of threatened the commissioner, saying that the commissioner will lose his police department if he follows the judge's recommendation.
Good. I hope he does. I hope every goddamn racist in the New York Police Department resigns immediately. He goes, oh my God, now I can't choke black people to death in the middle of the street. I resign. Good, get the fuck out. Oh, God damn it. Man, I get worked up. I'm sorry about that. I mean, the nerve of people, the nerve of the cops to say, now you're not gonna let us choke the citizens to death? And oh my God, you'll lose me if you don't let me murder citizens in the streets for no goddamn reason. Good, I wanna lose you. Look, I'm gonna go through this for the billionth time on the show. Oh, you guys are against all cops. No, I'm against the training. I'm against a system, a culture that says that this is okay. If it wasn't okay, then we would all agree. The cops would agree, the mayor would agree, everybody would agree. Well, obviously the guy did something that was not okay. So he should be fired, right? Like in a normal work environment, if you went up and started choking someone and killed them, that would not be okay. That would not be okay. You would immediately be fired. If you weren't fired, people might think that it was okay. That you could go around in a work environment and choke your co-workers to death, or pick any other example.
Right.
At a McDonald's, wherever, right? Oh no, it's cops, they're allowed to murder people. No, they're not. It's actually quite the opposite. They have an extra responsibility with the power, the badge, and the gun that they have to be more careful, not less careful. It's their job to be careful. It's their job to protect us and not kill us. If they can't handle that job, they should leave. They should resign or be fired.
And something to kind of just bring up in terms of how broken the NYPD system is so in 2014, the year Eric Garner was murdered, that's the year that the Internal Affairs started tracking police complaints about bias. And from that time forward, they've received 2,500 complaints. 68% of those complaints about the police have been biased based on race or color. Internal Affairs has substantiated none of them, saying that none of them hold any weight whatsoever.
Yeah, all black people are lying. Yeah, that's a good policy. Oh, if you don't let us smear every black citizens of New York and every minority in New York, well then we're gonna resign. Please, I'm begging you, do it. Can we get, look, now I am mad at de Blasio. The answer should be, look, police commissioner, you do whatever you want, okay? You got a job to do, you make any decision you're comfortable with. I'm not interfering with it, but I also have a job to do. You make your decision, then I'll make my decision, okay? If you don't fire him and his boss and his boss's boss, you're so goddamn fired, and I'll fire everyone that thinks that this is an acceptable policy, because I'm not gonna let one more black man die in the streets because the cops would like to do it and get away with it.
And that's so important. It's something that Eric Garner's daughter said. She said, finally someone has said this cop has done something wrong. And we haven't even gotten just that, somebody saying it, the mayor saying this, but what we have gotten is him almost running on part of his platform is like, showing how police brutality affects his son, as if he doesn't run a police department, as if he's not the mayor of the biggest police department in our country, as if he can't even just speak out against what happened. Like, we haven't had him just say that.
Yep, and the thing is too, that really gets me, because I went to John Jay College of Criminal Justice in New York. I trained to be a cop. I have tons of friends in the NYPD and I love them greatly. And it's unfortunate because so many of them provide a public service, but then you have individuals like this Pantaleo gentleman who essentially choked Garner to death. And then on top of that, you have people in Staten Island who are unwilling to indict the attorney's office, unwilling to do something about it. And then you have the police department, also unwilling to do something about it. You finally have the Citizen Civil Review Board saying he needs to be fired. Then you have this administrative law judge saying he needs to be fired. But now we have to wait for the commissioner to actually do something. And only in 73% of cases does he actually punish the person, and only in 42% of those cases does he actually go with the punishment that's recommended. So we're sitting here with a 50-50, is this guy gonna be fired? And so if he does get fired for political reasons, that's fine, as long as it gets done to send the message that needs to be sent. And then everyone else also gets handled accordingly, because this is not okay.
So progressives, when you get into elected office, be stronger.
Yeah.
The cops are going to complain and put pressure on you. So what? They do that anyway.
Somebody's dead.
Yeah. First of all, who cares, right? So be mayor only one time. Who cares? At least be super strong and do what you know is right. And by the way, the people will back you if you do that. And then second of all, it's not like they go easy on you anyway. They do protests about you anyway. What is there left to lose? And you think you're ever going to appease these guys? Never, never. And look, I know there's such justifiable emphasis on Pantaleo because he's the one who actually did it. But that, to me, that is actually, as horrific as it is, relatively minor compared to all the people defending him. Yeah. To all the people saying he is not a bad guy, that this is a perfectly acceptable thing to do. That other cops should also murder citizens in the street. Well, that's a much bigger problem because that's saying the NYPD is not here to serve and protect. It's an occupying force for the powerful in New York. Maybe they work for the rich in Manhattan. And if you are doing, on that day, he wasn't even selling loose cigarettes. He was actually trying to be a good Samaritan, okay? We don't care. We'll kill you with impunity. And if anyone dares to question our impunity, we'll put a ton of pressure on them saying we should get to kill people. No, and if you don't understand that this is a sick culture that is in so many police departments in this country, then you don't get it. They're supposed to serve and protect us. But the us is not the citizens. The us is a few powerful people. That's all they serve. And for the rest of us, they're an occupying force.
It is, it's the system, it's the brotherhood, it's the union president's response, that's it. And the fact that we're talking about one officer, but as you mentioned, there was a gang of officers there that day. There were multiple people who could have been like, get up, move your hand. It's just cigarettes, move your arm. There's a gang of things that could have happened, and it is you can't protect the brotherhood more than you
do your
protect
job.
Like the goodness. If you care so much about everybody not being like hit with this cloud of negativity, then kick people to the curb when they're terrible, when they make you look bad. And I have never once seen that happen. No. And it's frustrating.
Brooke, there's such a good point about the gang, and they're all ganging up on him there. And then, you'll see some violence sometimes on websites of a couple. In fact, we covered ASAP Rocky the other day, and it was a couple of guys against one guy that they had provoked. Yeah, it's a long story, right? But it was a couple of guys against one guy, and it kind of turns your stomach. But look at that. That's a whole bunch of guys, a gang of guys empowered by the city, with badges, with power, who have the license to kill and a gun, all ganging up on one guy. If that doesn't turn your stomach, he didn't do anything wrong that day. He wasn't the target, okay? He was actually trying to break up a fight. But hey, it's a big black guy, okay, good enough. He didn't listen to the cop for 1 second, good enough to kill him, good enough to kill him. If you're on that side, I'm not on your side. And for all the people who are constantly trying to be neutral. Well, I mean, some people say you should be able to murder black people, and others say you shouldn't. That is not a goddamn neutral argument. No, you should not be allowed to do that. What the hell kind of police do we run? And so still, right this minute, still not fired, and still has most of the cops in his gang back him up. Look, guys, last thing. If I had a gun, I would be more responsible, not less responsible. Man, I'd be really, really worried about what to do with that gun. I don't want it going off. I don't want it to hurt someone, right? But even without the guns and even without the badges, if me and a bunch of guys went out and one of them was choking a guy to death, you know what I would do? I'd jump on my friend and pull him off so he doesn't kill the guy.
Right, right.
That seems logical.
So why are the cops have the opposite mentality? The cops should pull the guy off even more, not less. But they're like, oh, one of our own is killing someone. Oh, good, all right, good job. Let us know when you're done, okay? And then afterwards, they're like, well, good, he had to. That's the law, that's the policy. He had to murder the guy. I'm tired of it, man. We're all tired of it. And so if you want to cry about, oh my God, you don't respect the cops. First of all, you should go cry about your own president who doesn't think you should follow the law and hates law enforcement. We actually want the law, we want the rule of law, but we want it for all of the citizens. It's not too much to ask for. It just isn't. If you think it's too much to ask for to protect all citizens equally, then you're not American and you should leave. The TYT Plus app is now available on iOS and Android. Download to get more TYT content at tyt.com/app.